glad that you could take some time out of your schedule to join us. We have an amazing group of veterans, individuals who simply have given their very best to their nation. And, during this COVID-19, I've learned that, relationships are so important. The people that you will hear today and see today are people who I've had significant relationships with, or I've met maybe for the first time. But their contributions to our community has really been heartfelt ever since that they left the uniform. And so this Globinar is an attempt to give you a perspective of a veteran's life. I'm so happy today to be able to share with you on this occasion. We will have at some point Texas State Representative-elect Liz Campos, who will join us. And I do want to go to Lila Holly. Lila Holly is an author of the best-selling series Camouflage Sisters. She's a veteran, and she has helped the Global Chamber to soar, and she's provided us great counsel and motivation. Lila, are you with me?
Hi, Chris. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I'd like for you to give our veterans today some words of encouragement.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. And I want to just say Happy Veterans Day to everyone who served out there. Thank you for your service, those who are currently serving and those who have previously served. It's a great day for us. Take advantage of the celebrations going on today. So for me, my journey since I left the military, the thing that I really stress for other veterans and especially entrepreneurs is the importance of our story as veterans. I met a lot of, especially women, I've met a lot of women, veterans who don't understand how important it is for us to have a voice and to raise our voice in telling our story. That is really the premise of my business and really what I built it on with the books and everything. So we're getting ready to release our 7th book in the Camouflage Sisters series, and I'm so excited and proud of that. We have over 100 women, veterans, and a couple of spouses who have shared their stories in our books. But even up to that point in time, a lot of them didn't understand the importance of their story. It's really important for us to tell our story for, a lot of times when people think of veterans, especially on this day, they don't think of us. They don't think of the women who served, the women who sacrificed, the women who have given so much of their time, efforts, and energy to this country, and the great things that they have been able to accomplish in their careers as veterans. So it's important for us to have a voice, to share our stories, and to have a platform to do so. So that's why I'm so proud of what we've been able to create with Camouflage Sisters.
Lila, your book series has been great. You have been a constant contributor to San Antonio during our Dream Week. You've gotten a lot of speaking engagements, ma'am. And so I do want to thank you again for your time. And, Lila and I, we go way back. We go way back.
He went there.
Look, Lila is the one in the yellow with that yellow circle. She's in the red dress. And back in those days, that was the military ball. And I was right, Lila?
Yes. High school days. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, so we have more corporate knowledge about each other in the room than most. And like I said, that's about 86, 87. That was the military ball. Lila and I both wore Air Force Junior ROTC uniforms in high school. And it brings back good memories.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
She's gonna get you, Chris, for showing that picture.
Well, I told you guys today that this would be a day of fun. I did not want this Veterans Day celebration to be still. Right. So I had to use my friend as the example. Yes, she will get me. Yes, she will get me. So next we have a good friend and a woman who has been leading the charge in Bexar County, Renee Watson.
Thank you, and thank you to all of those who have served. I am a daughter of a veteran and military individual from the Marine Corps. My father served in the Korean War, and he suffered from PTSD. He took his life when we were young as children in San Antonio, born and raised. So he inspired us to be of service and to help and support the community. So each and every day we work on behalf of Bexar County to support our veteran business owners, whether you're service disabled or if you just have an idea and we want to help you to grow, to create legacy and wealth for your families. So thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do, Chris, and all of the commitment that you have to our community as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Renee. And again, when we look at your event that's to the right, can you tell us a little bit about the Bexar County Business Virtual Conference? I know that with COVID-19, you have probably had to jump through hoops to change the format, but I know that you register more veteran businesses as a single agency than anybody that I know of. And in fact, I want to thank you because when we started Global Chamber back in 2017, you provided me my first list of businesses that we could actually use to help grow our chamber. So with that, can you please answer that first question about this Bexar County Business Virtual Conference? What can veterans expect?
Absolutely. Each year we do a small business conference at the Freeman Coliseum. This would have been our 20th year of holding that event. But because of the pandemic, we are putting that event 100% virtual online. It will give you an opportunity to do matchmaking. Instead of coming into the building physically, you can go on the website and schedule appointments for one-on-one opportunities with buyers and service providers. So if you need a counselor, if you need someone to talk to you about certification, how to do business, bidding and estimating, QuickBooks, all of those types of services. Or if you're ready to do business, we'll have over 100 agencies from the universities, colleges, private sector, public sector, to talk about how you can do business and you sell what you provide. We are constantly working with veteran-owned businesses, really to kind of look at your separation. That last year before you separate from the military, what are you trying to do? And if you plan to stay in San Antonio, how we can connect you with local procurement. We have the DBA office right next to us, or if you're forming an LLC, we'll talk about that at this conference. You'll be able to look at that. We will have 12 sessions streamed live. And then we have about 80 pre-recorded videos with their top session with the University of Texas at San Antonio Small Business Development Center. You can ask any question you would like and get immediate answer for how you can bring your business forward. Also during this pandemic, the county is making grants available through Lift Fund and through SAGE, San Antonio Growth for the East Side. So if you need some help to make sure you stay open, not only to survive, but help you to thrive with your business, we're making those opportunities available as well through some grants, not just loans like the SBA. We will have the PPE loans, but we also have grants available at this conference.
All right, thank you so much. You know, Veterans Day gives us a chance to reflect on the contributions of our nation's heroes. And I call them heroes because I can recall being deployed and really having to rely on the tender loving care of those who I wasn't related to, but yet I was influenced by. And so I had a chance to form the Global Chamber San Antonio. And I actually sought out a veteran who I greatly admire, Dr. Crystal K. Nedio. Dr. Nedio became our founder of the Global Chamber San Antonio, and she is my current chair. We do have an incoming chair-elect for 2021, Jorge Canavati, but at this time I'd like to talk to Dr. Nedio because she's one of the people who I wanted to honor today. Thank you, ma'am, for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Oh, good, you put that picture.
Like that picture. How about
Don't flip. Oh, I knew you were going to do that. But thank you again for having me. Like with anything else, I think being a woman veteran has in San Antonio has been extremely wonderful, having shared the same experiences as Miss Lila mentioned earlier, telling our story. I joined when I was 17 years old and not having much direction, exactly what I was going to be when I grew up. And little did I know of the journey the military would take me on. And I'm forever grateful for the friendships I made, the camaraderie. And as you mentioned, now we have a family. They're not blood, but will always be family to us. And so as I reflect through these pictures, I was 17 in that middle one, and there's my niece. So all three of my sister's children have decided to join the military in some form. My niece Fiona will be commissioned as an officer in the Army National Guard in December. My niece Leanie, she just started the St. Mary's ROTC program to join the Army once she graduates with her degree as well. And my youngest nephew, Joe Vaughn, is at the Military Marine Academy. And so needless to say, we continue to leave a legacy. My father is a Vietnam veteran, and we've kind of always been a military family. And so as Ms. Renee Watson had mentioned, her participation in the auxiliary, I'm very, very involved with the VFW. As you can see there, I got Chris to be part of our post. How many years ago was that? 3 or 4 years ago?
I don't know. All you told me was
I'm going based on the length of my hair, so.
You said sign up and give me your money, and that's all I know that I did. So I followed your order.
And then I said, and then I need you to volunteer, right?
That's correct.
That's usually how it happens. And then on the bottom left is my husband, who has recently just separated from the Army. And so needless to say, I stay engulfed with the military. But Prosperity Solutions was actually founded on the concept of providing veterans and their dependents a way back into the workforce. I knew the struggle that not only myself, but most veterans go through when they get out of the military, of just not knowing what to do next. I mean, we've been told what to wear, we've been told where to go, we've been told how to live for so long. And then the idea of independence and true freedom, you know, from an agency or an organization is kind of a hard pill to swallow for most of us. You know I suffered from depression for a few months. And so with Prosperitas, we're able to employ veterans and put them back in an environment that they're familiar with. And so we've been doing that for the last 10 years. And I'm grateful for all the veterans and dependents that I do hire. And hopefully I can ride this out a little bit longer and employ some good people and put them back in a place that they enjoy to be in.
Crystal, tell us, so why did you get involved with the Global Chamber? I mean, outside of me asking, what did you see was the opportunity?
You know, the Global Chamber, it's definitely an avenue that I think as military members, an area that I failed to do when I got out was networking. We're not taught how to network, at least I wasn't. And so the Chamber was almost an expedited version of how to get out there and how to get to know other businesses and other people on a much faster pace. And not only that, but you're with subject matter experts in other countries, other states. And so the idea of being able to help entrepreneurs, businesses in general, not just small businesses, but all businesses, I felt was a great opportunity, especially here in San Antonio with our growth. As we heard today, we're supposed to double in size here in the next decade. And that's only a huge platform for us to really bring more business here to San Antonio, internationally and locally.
Very nice. Okay. I would next like to I was going to next go to another warrior who's actually logging on now. So I'm going to skip through.
Hi, Mr. Mooney. How are you?
Hey, is that Crystal?
Yes, sir.
How you doing there, Crystal?
It's good to see you, sir. Glad you can make it.
Well, it's good to see all these warriors here, you know?
I love these pictures.
Well, this is perfect timing. And so Don Mooney is a West Point grad. He's a businessman. to the heart, he's a businessman. He has a great wife from my home city and Lila Holly's home city of Newburgh, New York, Narcissa. And we just wanted to say Happy Veterans Day to you, Mr. Mooney, and to ask you, how does it feel as a member of the City of San Antonio's business community, and how has your veteran experience impacted your work today?
First of all, Happy Veterans Day to all you guys. Gerald, I see you down there. I hadn't seen you live in a long time, and some of you I don't know, but Renee, Happy Veterans Day to you too. And so, but I feel very fortunate to be here in San Antonio. My wife being from Newburgh, New York, and being a New Yorker, she did not want to be anywhere in Texas, but as God would have it, we're the best decision that we made was to remain here in San Antonio. And so I feel good about San Antonio. I think San Antonio is probably, for me, was the best place to start a business with all its rich resources and veterans here. It was just a great place to launch a business.
And Mr. Mooney, looking forward, and as you know, we've been in COVID-19. Your companies have responded to the call of action. Tell us more about your contributions dealing with COVID-19 stressors that have impacted our nation and our world.
Well, first of all, no one's, I think 2020 has been it's been a year I think for all of us. We've had so many things happen to us. And first of all, I'm missing a great friend and a great warrior, Kevin Klein. We lost him during just recently, almost about 32 days ago. And but some of the things I'm very fortunate to have a great team.
Yes, sir.
And that's what and I'm always my team a team is better than any one person. And some of the things that we have done, despite the COVID, the team has been able to, when we had in New Orleans, when we had the pandemic hit the city of New Orleans, we were able to send 25 nurses there. We were able to send, screeners to Indiana, to DC. So we've been very fortunate with the team. I mean, it's a young team, and very, 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 very smart, very, very intelligent, and so just very fortunate to have that team to be able to respond. When we in San Antonio, when we were only allowed to go to one medical facility, our team, we figured out a plan, and Mooney didn't figure out a plan, the team did, and to start bringing in healthcare professionals and dedicating those healthcare professionals to those facilities to protect our healthcare professionals, and also to follow within the guidelines of the CDC, and also to the county and to the city. So very, very nimble, very, very resilient, very, very agile, very, very smart young team.
Mr. Mooney, I want you to talk about that black and white picture. I've gotten text messages saying, have Mr. Mooney tell me about his experience. And I know where that is. That's at West Point. Talk to us about that, sir.
Well, it's, I will, you can see I had a decent throw, you know, and they said, how can you have a throw at West Point? And back, I'll tell you quite honestly, they didn't know what to do with us back then. You know, during the weekdays, I would pack it down, have my stocking cap on, and during the weekends, I would comb it out or blow it out and that sort of thing. The most things I would tell folks, this is the reason why my wife married me, because of that picture down there. I used to be a stud. I don't know what I am now, but I was a stud back then, you know, football player and everything else. But that's the reason why I married. But West Point was very challenging. Some of the things that are hitting 2020 hit us back then, and I will tell a short story if you indulge me. You know, back I was a freshman, a plebe as we call them, back then in 71. That's when President Nixon was our president, and I happened one time to walk through the halls, and there were folks running around with sheets in the hallway. Our leadership, our senior cadets, wrote up what was called a manifesto back then, because President Nixon wanted to provide a monument, a statue to the Confederate soldiers. And cadets back at the time, believe it or not, we did a sit-in in the mess hall, and we said that we were not going to get up until they sent someone from the Pentagon, and they did send someone from the Pentagon. As a result of what happened, and you know, I didn't know anything back then. It was our leadership. It was the senior guys that were Percy Sutton and Dave Bryce. Those were the guys that were responsible and very smart guys, and I'm still in contact with them. But because of that, they didn't put up the Confederate statue. They stopped playing Dixie at the parades. The Confederate flags could no longer be in the cadet rooms. They couldn't display those anymore. We were, every cadet had to take 8 hours of race relations. Staff had to take 16 hours of race relations. So a lot of changes, a lot of things happened during that time frame, because, you know, we're just getting out of the Vietnam War, and we're just getting, you know, integration was just started during that time frame. Our class at that time was the largest Black class at West Point at that time. We started with 120 Black cadets at beginning of Beast Barracks, or our basic training, and we graduated with, I want to say 30 of us graduated.
Okay. Well, thank you, Thank you, Don Mooney, for your story, and thank you for being a mentor and a friend. As I showed earlier, those pictures also included your help with supporting a global or international mission that we've had. You've met young African leaders, business leaders at my request, and I've always appreciated and been thankful for our relationship, our friendship, and our service together. So happy Veterans Day to you, Mr. Mooney.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. Happy Veterans Day to everyone.
Thank you.
So I'm happy to introduce a woman who has recently been elected to our Texas State House of Representatives, and she is Elizabeth Liz Campos, and she's going to bring us a greeting and a happy Veterans Day.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Chris, for having me today. And happy Veterans Day, and thank you all for your service. I greatly appreciate it. And I will tell you, I'm very grateful to be able to serve House District 119 and San Antonio. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am born and raised in San Antonio, in-house District 119. I literally have lived on Rigsby for 51 years. I purchased a house across the street from my mom. I also worked for a state senator, and I was a chief of staff for 8 years. I was with him. And the last 4 years, I own a small business, a plumbing company, because there's 3 generations of plumbers in our family. And so I really know what is needed in my district. And so I tell everybody that I want to be a true public servant. And this campaign was not about me. It was about the people and doing right by the people. And I expect for my voters and my supporters to hold me accountable. And I want to have that open door policy. I was in the legal field for 30 years and now owning my own business. And I'm grateful that I have the time to truly serve. So that is my goal. And I'm very thankful for Chris and the fact that he's a veteran and we connected during my campaign. And I'm happy to have him as a part of my team because I'm all about building relationships and building a successful team. And so I want to touch as many as people as I can throughout the district that I can reach out to for any and all kinds of issues. But the veterans are very, very important to me. And, there's so many that have a lot of mental illness, and I see that some of them are homeless, and it really saddens me. I mean, I have placed a lot of homeless families, and I've been involved with the homeless. And so I definitely want to do all that I can with the veterans, and I'm depending on Chris to guide me in the right direction, and I want to know the issues. So please know that I'm here for y'all, and if there's anything that I can do, I'll be happy to do it, and I'm looking forward to going to Austin and fighting for the people. And thank you all for this time, and happy Veterans Day.
Well, thank you, State Rep-elect, and we're grateful for your service upcoming in the House session. We know that we veterans do have issues, and we have opportunities, and we are a very strong backbone of Military City USA. And so I'm sure that if you have any questions, concerns, or opportunities, we can all help as a veteran community. I'm going to go to a person who really has been a very good friend to me. And in fact, she is just an outstanding veteran Marine, Juanita Sepulveda. And Juanita is a serial entrepreneur on the hip hop tour. That's right, I said it. And has a number of brands. But on the real, she is the current chairwoman of the City of San Antonio's Small Business Advocacy Committee, which means that out of the 60 to 70,000 small businesses, she is the chief advocate, working with city volunteers from the various council members and the mayor's office to ensure that we have a strong program. And in the picture to I don't know if it's to your right or to your left, Juanita and I had a chance to go to Indianapolis to accept the best small business program in the nation. This is prior to COVID, for economic development with the city of San Antonio, the best in the nation. And so 2 veterans working side by side to achieve that status that we've never reached before. So Juanita, thank you for joining us. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, and to all those who are out there, happy belated Marine Corps birthday. Thank you for having me, and it's such an honor to be able to be on this panel because, so often we think about, we get focused and we're running a mile, 100 miles a minute, but you're right, I am a serial entrepreneur. On my LinkedIn, I put unapologetically unemployable. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to work for someone else. It's just I'd rather work for myself now. And that's just my drive. In the military, everybody knows, the few, the proud, the Marines. Well, I'm the fewer. And when we talk about, you know, our veterans, it is always an honor even after we get out. And I would never, I guess I would never have had the same feeling had I not gotten out. And, you know, and I'm extremely dedicated to the Marine Corps. But now that I'm out of the Marine Corps as a veteran, it's still under one flag. So to all of my veterans, thank you. Thank you for being my brothers and sisters in arms, and it's such an honor. Oh, my military experience. It definitely made me assertive, forward-thinking, and that old saying, failure is just not an option. And for many of you who don't know my story, we were actually homeless in 2011 with my children. I have 7 children. And we were actually homeless. We lost everything. But I had some great mentors, some great advocates, and conversations that really pushed us forward. Not just career-wise, but education-wise. What can I possibly say about, you know, what I can do to reflect? It's an honor to be able to serve a community that I live in, support, and I cherish. Military City, USA, absolutely. I will second that. You know, we come home. I left in 1994 and I came back. And it was without a question the best decision. You know, not only are we able to be headquartered here, but we're able to go abroad. We have the capacity to have that global perspective and the experience to interact with multiple cultures and to have the dialogue that's going to impact not just those abroad, but as we come back and we extend a hand back to our fellow brothers and sisters and say, join me, whether it's a corporate America, whether it's education, or whether it's an entrepreneur. You know, the message that I would like to be able to convey, be obsessed, be 100% invested.
Wow.
And everybody's going to say, you know, and others, but first you need to be 100% invested in yourself. Be completely obsessed with your idea and the direction that you're going to be going, because that's what you were groomed to do in the military. You transition into the civilian world and it is amazing. Some of us have a smoother transition than others, but don't forget to look to your right and to look to your left, because even though we're from different branches, again, it's one flag. And here in Military City, USA, we're here with resources. And remember, like the military said, the only dumb question is the question not asked. Ask questions, because those questions are going to lead to another and to another. Endless resources, because I'm certainly not going to be silent. You know, I think it was Madeleine Albright. It says, it took a long time for me to develop my voice. I will no longer be silent. It took a long time for us to be able to go through the military. And as we finish, you know, and come to the end of our career, we have now transitioned into a different stage in our lives. We are models, we are leaders, but sometimes we know the difference that even the best leaders are the best followers, because we set up the foundation to make sure everyone else is lifted up to that next level of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for your service. It's been a tremendous honor for me to serve with you on our city's committee. And also, as you have helped on the board of the Global Chamber of San Antonio, you've put your leadership mark with us as well. So thank you so much. Next person who I'm going to pivot to is a friend, and he is so ambitious in everything that he does. His name is Kyle Biddiell. Kyle is he's an engineer. He's a general contractor. His company is doing it, and it's doing it well. Kyle, how are you today?
Hello, my apologies for a little delay. And I do want to say congratulations to Miss Liz, and hello to Miss Renee, and then the doctors and everyone in the here. And thank you for having me here. And I was actually airman, senior airman, in Barrett County, mentor protege. I thank them. Renee Watson, she rocks. and everyone else in the county is great, in the city, and I'm just a humble servant to the service. And right now, currently, I'm working with the Navy as a design builder, able to hire engineers and architects work with me as a team leader. So I'm forever grateful, and then I just want to say thank you to Mr. Chris Herring. He's doing an absolute marvelous job in processing global chamber of San Antonio. And once him and everyone else in the colleague, they're all over. I got nothing but respect for him. And thank you for the invitation and whatnot. And the least I can do, just let me know. I want to be a team player. So therefore, I just want to say thank you for your friendships and everything, every opportunity I have. Thank you.
Well, Kyle, I wanted to recognize you because you're one of those guys who you do the hard work behind the scenes. You always don't put yourself out there for the recognition. It was the hardest thing to track down a military picture on you. and what I got as feedback, this is just something that the veterans have told me. They said, back in our day, we didn't have social media. So therefore we weren't focusing on having a picture.
We did it because I said that we did it.
Yeah. So Kyle, look, you gave me that picture of you as an airman, and you still have those same great features. Nothing has changed about you. Putting it back up. But I do want to ask you, tell us about your journey as a veteran in business. What have you learned from your experience in the military that transferred over into your KAC general contractor company?
Well, first of all, my dad, stepdad / adopted dad, Mr. Raymond Villarreal, was in prior service and 24 years retired, military. And then I saw that how, he's very gratitude to serving Air Force, and thus I joined, and I have nothing but the best experience from the military. Of course, you're gonna have growing pain with the military, and as a vet and as a military, I wish I'd have served a little bit longer, but I had personal reasons. But looking back as a vet, and if I could do it again, I want to serve more for the country and do best I can. And as a vet, I felt like I didn't do enough for country, but I would recommend any young people in the San Antonio and in Texas always have a great opportunity to be in some sort of a service. The Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, they're all great, and I think it ingrates in a personality that gratitude to the country and whatnot. So I mean, again, because of military experiences I'm able to have my daily bread and everything else. So I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much, Kyle. And
yes, sir.
Appreciate you once again. I'm now going to transition to Cody Drywater. And, so if you can tell, I'm very focused on making sure that whatever we do, we have the right diversity, and because we all have stories. And one of the things that kind of, when I was in the service, I was the Chief Military Equal Opportunity Officer, and I managed the Air Force's diversity program. And it's truly a pet peeve when I see recognition days and we don't have the chance to honor every type of American that we have, from African American to Asian American to Native American or Indigenous, to our Hispanic or Latino community. We have to do a better job at making sure that we show the contributions. Cody, Dr. Crystal Nedio, she recommended that you be on this show today. And so I want to turn it over to you. I'm going to put up your slide because you were a warrior for sure. And tell us your story. And thank you for being with us.
Well, I appreciate that, Chris. And obviously I appreciate Crystal for even mentioning my name to be a part of something like this. It's a very humbling experience. I can't say thank you enough. I'm listening to everyone else's stories and what they've already achieved, and I feel like the little person here, but I definitely consider myself a sponge, so I appreciate being able to just to even hear it and take whatever I can from everyone's story and everyone's experiences and use it to the best of my ability. And like you said, I am a Native American. I'm part of the Cherokee Nation tribe. I grew up in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which is one of the areas where, you know, the Trail of Tears had ended, and was raised Cherokee by, you know, my dad and my grandfather growing up, doing Cherokee national holidays and being entered in blowgun competitions with my grandfather, and really getting to experience the heritage and just learning the history, and, you know, to learn to really be a proud Native American, I think. And my grandfather was in the military as well. He was in the Army. My family was, older brother was an officer in the Army. My wife is a disabled veteran as well. Her family's military as well. So if the military has really taught me anything, it's really humbled me in my experiences going overseas. I joined in 2008. I was in Iraq for 15 months in 2009 to 2010. I came back. I wasn't even in the States 12 months before I was shipped to Afghanistan for another 12 months in 10, 11. Came back and was back in Afghanistan again in 12, 13. And so I did get a pretty, you know, broad experience of traveling the world and seeing these other countries and seeing the types of areas that, you know, other humans are living in, and really taking that for really believing in what you're doing with the military and your mission overseas, and trying to, you know, make a change in the world. And, you know, and doing all that, you know, you're risking one of them, you know, your own life. And you know, that's a big commitment to make, not just for those around the world, but for your family as well. And if anything, it's been humbling. And then to come back and, you know, and like, I think someone else mentioned, you know, when I got out, I was like, well, what do I do now? And everyone's like, go to college. You're supposed to go to college. Like, it's been over 10 years since I even you know, to high school. I don't even know if I still have those skills. I've been traveling, deploying for the last 9 years. So it was, you know, being shoved into that, and then taking it for what it is and learning. And then, you know, also going through my own struggles and not really taking time to focus on myself, being, you know, as far as the mental struggles and the transitioning of doing something that you're so used to every day for so long. And, you know, having to really sit down and realize those issues are there, and really start to address them and get the help that's needed. And I did and still do every day, you know, struggle with mental health and PTSD. And, you know, and I think I told Crystal when I was on the phone with her yesterday, you know, I was like, you know, you do things overseas that aren't always, you know, humanly natural, or things that happen that you don't see every day. I was like, I personally felt like I kind of started to lose a piece of myself, you know, inside, and was really just, you know, struggle with myself. If this is normal, if everyone's going through this, and am I not a warrior anymore if I go seek that help? You know, it's a tough, you know, internal struggle to deal with, and it doesn't go away. I think you find ways to mitigate, and find out what that is that helps you mitigate that situation, and try to magnify it and see what helps and see what doesn't help, and then use that to become the better leader or the better mentor. I have people reach out to me every day, you know, I just remember you and seeing what you went through, and I didn't realize it, but I'm going through the same thing. What do I do? And it's like, the first step you just did, you know, you just admitted it, you know, so let's applaud that, because it's not the easiest thing to do, and then we'll move on. So that's definitely been my military experience, and just humbling. The people I'm around now, I'm part of a nonprofit organization now called Hero Sports. We provide, you know, recreational sports and outdoor activities to help that transitioning soldier and those still serving service members as well. You don't just have to be a veteran to be struggling. There's active duty members out there every day that are struggling, that don't know where to go, or maybe might be worried about career situations that might, you know, hinder them, unfortunately. So we try to really not narrow it down to just combat wounded warriors. We're all warriors in our own way, and we're all struggling with different things. And we try to really focus on, the veteran, the service member as a whole. And, we kind of do that through sports. We do a huge community in the adult softball community. We just had a military softball tournament in Georgia a couple weeks ago, and we're able to sponsor 7 military men's and women's and co-ed teams there to provide them with that without outdoor recreational sport, to bring everyone together from all parts of the country and bring them together on one team and just have a good time, relax, and just enjoy each other. And, we do hunting trips, fishing trips. We have Hero Sports ambassadors in 14 different states right now. Hero Sports was founded in 2015, so we're still relatively new, and I've only been on the team for 2 going on 3 years now. But if I wasn't humble just from my military experience, this is even more humbling. So it's like I said, I'm learning every day. I'm soaking it in every day, and it's just, and like I said, and just being able, and working with volunteers, which is always hard, and especially right now with COVID-19, it has been a tough year. It's been a tough year for everybody. So with that being said, to still ask people, hey, can you still come help? That gets even harder if it isn't hard already. But we still do what we have to make it happen. We had a celebrity softball game in South Carolina last week, and a local softball tournament here in San Antonio with 3 teams. Huge support, huge out showing, and we have this initiative to help these service members, and it truly cannot be met without the support of everyone. And just the support that I have seen since moved to San Antonio, it's been huge. The military support hasn't been matched by anyone. I was stationed at Fort Campbell when I first got out, 101st Airborne, and got experienced VA help all the way through, and San Antonio has been the best so far. Without a question. And I do understand that everyone's experiences are different, but my wife and I's experience being here, and not just being veterans, but disabled veterans, and the help of all the support channels here, it's been amazing. It really has.
Well, Cody, we want to thank you for your leadership to your nation and to the Cherokee. It's this special, we all have special stories, and I'm sure that you're celebrated. We want to celebrate you today. And again, I'm glad to have met a new friend, comrade in arms, and we're serving on this side of life, which is great, right? So thank you so much. I'm going to now pivot to a gentleman who has impacted Military City, USA in a profound way. This guy has traveled some parts of the world with me. He was my sponsor when I came to San Antonio, and I actually had the opportunity to retire this guy. And then when I retired him from Lackland Air Force Base, I told him to put the uniform down and be the general that he is, Gerald D. Givens Jr. What is your story, and take it away?
Yeah.
Oh man, thanks Chris for that introduction. And first I want to say to Lila, stories about women veterans. I mean, I think that's so important. If you don't tell the story, nobody else will. And putting it down in a book, you can't get the story mixed up, So I appreciate you for going ahead and making that happen. Renee, you're the glue to the city, to the county. You keep it together. You making sure that the women and the veterans and minorities all get those opportunities, and you just keep making it happen. 20 years strong. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Crystal,
Keep going.
you're just so business minded. Oh my God, it's local, it's state, it's global.
Hey.
You're the bomb. And
yeah, we
Don,
love Renee for sure.
And Don, Don is the exact model for African Americans in business, because Don does what matters. And that's what we need to start explaining to our community. Do what matters. And Don does that. And he is, and in West Point, man, That's one of my favorite places in the country. It's so beautiful up there. The statues, the history. Love you, Don. Representative Campos, you know what time it is. Voting and economics go together. If you don't vote and you don't handle the economics, it's you can't build the communities. You won't build the success that you need. So we thank you for being a part of this conversation. Politics is in everything.
Thank you.
All right, Gerald.
And
So we want you to tell us about your politics. Tell us what
I'm
you're
getting
doing.
there. I'm getting there. To Juanita, hey, one of the things that I learned is that a strong business create strong communities, and strong communities create strong chambers. So we appreciate you for that as well. My man Kyle, Chris described you as part of the A team. Everybody always needs somebody who can just get it done. And so, man, that's what I love about you. All right. And then Cody, Native American, family of veterans. This home is your home. You fought for it. You defended it. Love your story, man. And I struggle with PTSD too. So what you said was real. Admitting it is most important. And I got to find out more about Hero Sports. Now, to tell you a little bit more about me, at 16 years of age, a teacher told me, she said, Miss Preston, she said, I want you to do 3 things. She said, I want you to join the Chamber of Commerce. She said, I want you to go to college. And she said, I want you to go to the military. At 16, I couldn't go to the military and I couldn't go to college, but I could join a chamber. So I've been a member of a Chamber of Commerce since I was 16 years old. And that's when I learned that money is a tool. You have to use it as a tool to make good things happen. And so from there, I went on ahead, I went to college. After college, I joined the Air Force. And in the Air Force, I spent my first 4 years in Air Force Special Operations, where I learned you practice the way you play. And that was the most important thing to me. And so after that, I pretty much spent 10 years of my career in combat support and another 10 years in intelligence. And in those combat support days, I was pretty much a systems administrator. And so I was responsible for making sure that billions of dollars were taken care of for the Air Force, about $8 million in cash a day. So while I was watching all of that happen with the odds and O's and the numbers and everything, and I was watching the business aspects of everything as well. And so I was learning from other people's mistakes and successes on how to manage money in a large organization. So in San Antonio, when I got to San Antonio, I had the opportunity to serve in the West Chamber, the Alamo Chamber, and also with the Texas Association of African American Chambers. And being able to do that just opened up my eyes to, how everything in Texas is just big. So, it just gave me a whole other different view as to how we do business in our country. And last but not least, after I retired, a lot of my friends thought I was crazy because I had real high security clearances, and I chose not to stay in intelligence, and I chose to work at one of the best children's homes in the world right there in San Antonio, St. PJ's Children's Home. And I served the chance to serve as a project manager there, and using all of those skills that I told you guys about, I was able to help that organization go from a $5 million operation to more than a $16 million operation in less than 4 years. And so that's what the military gave me the skills to do. Last but not least, I met this beautiful girl in North Carolina. I got on my horse, put on my spurs, my Cowboys hat, and I went on ahead and rode from North Carolina, from Texas to North Carolina. And so I'm here now, and I'm currently the president of the Raleigh Apex NAACP, where I am responsible for more than 1 million residents in the largest county in North Carolina and the wealthiest county in North Carolina. So don't be surprised if I'm calling Renee for some more help and all the rest of y'all because that's what it's all about, creating opportunities and networking. Thank you, and I'm proud to be able to have this chance to be on this panel with a group of such great military veterans and veterans family members.
Awesome. I just want to know, why does he have more pictures than all of us?
Oh, you're so wrong for that.
I have my dog's picture.
All right. So I want to thank each of the panelists for sharing their story. You know, I have to say this. We stand on the shoulders of giants who have come before us. And Veterans Day to me is that opportunity where I'm able to say thank you to veterans who have definitely come before me and who have served before me. I too am a veteran, and I met some of you on the veterans journey. I do want to share my slide, if I may. Madam Chair, is that okay?
How many pictures?
Man, look, not many, but I do want to share my veteran story because, again, it's one in which we have this great opportunity, and I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to those who helped to advance my life to this point. And again, it's you know, we all have stories, and I'm glad and happy to have heard from fellow veterans who have impacted my life. And I'm working right now with this technology challenge because I don't see what you see. All right. So while I am working through some of these technical difficulties, Crystal, buy me some time.
Okay, all right.
Hey, can I say something before Crystal says something here?
Of course, Mr. Mooney, you have the floor.
Okay. I want to say something to Cody. Is I know a little bit about Tahlequah. I was in Tahlequah this weekend, fishing on Lake Tenkiller. So I've spent, I guess since about 2000, I've been to Tahlequah about 6 times, and I've shot the bows and arrows on the cornstalk. Done that with the Cherokee.
Yes, sir.
So I've had the honor of doing that many times. And one of my friends makes the Comanche bows, makes the homemade bows out of the bow dark, I guess that's the wood that he makes his bows and arrows out of. So wanted to share that with you. So I've spent many a day in Tahlequah. Beautiful town.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Mooney. You're probably the first person I've ever spoke to that has known where I'm from.
In fact, my mentor went to Northeast University, and so I've had something to, I guess, a little bit of Tahlequah, because Frank Ringo, who's my mentor since about 1965. And I know some of you guys may not have been born back then, but 65, he graduated from Northeast University. And in fact, I was at Northeast University this weekend also. My friend Ron Alston swims at the swimming pool. He's 85 years old and was flexing his muscles. So he's still doing setups and still swimming. He swam 1,200 yards while I was there. Watched him that was on Friday. So anyway, I wanted to share that.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mooney. And I happen to have a couple blowguns right here behind me. We should get together sometime, and I'll beat you real quick if you don't mind, sir.
I've I've got my bows and arrows right here. I've got 2 bows and arrows, 2 bows, and I've got some arrows that Mr. Austin made for me, so we can go in my backyard anytime. And I've got 2 acres. I'm no good anymore, but I can fling them out there.
All right, sir. We'll make that happen, and if you give me a chance, I'll pick your brain for a little bit, sir.
Okay, sounds great.
I appreciate you, sir.
All right, Mr. Herring, you have the floor.
I do. And
Chris, go back in the PowerPoint real quick.
okay, I'll
Chris,
do that. Yeah.
While you're doing that, I would like to encourage everyone. Again, I'm Juanita, and yes, I am a serial entrepreneur. But the one thing I did as a chair is I did not pursue any solicitations, right? To stay neutral and to make sure that I supported the small business community without any bias, right? But I highly encourage everyone to really be involved, listen, review, question things mercilessly until you get an answer on making sure that your businesses are established. Yes, I'm the chairwoman for the Small Business Advocacy Committee, but you are the driving force that keeps your business successful. You have Renee Watson, who stays involved with Bexar County, and I have the privilege of being able to be an advocate for small businesses. But my call to action to you is look at our agendas, look at our ordinances, reach out to your councilmen and women and see where your businesses fit and how we can feed you to be stronger, to advance, and to withstand this economic climate. Nothing is more important than to be able to support each other. And if we don't know, we can't fix it. And I would love to be able to, to have y'all participate, because we have meetings, and we've got one coming up in another week that, knowledge is power. And we all know that, even being part of this global chamber, knowledge is power.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I will say this, my slideshow isn't working, but I don't need it. I want to say happy Veterans Day to my dad, the Reverend Dr. Zebedee Herring. He served in the Korean War. And my next door neighbor, LeGrand Mosley, he's also deceased. He's deceased. My dad is living. But Mr. Mosley was my next door neighbor, and he wore the uniform. And it's often that we are exposed to people in our families that subliminally impact our decisions. And so those 2 individuals definitely impacted my decision, as well as my brother, Jackie Ray Herring. And I want to wish him a very happy Veterans Day. He served in the U.S. Army. And then to say that I had the pleasure of being able to watch my son, Christopher Herring, who's out there in Ellsworth Air Force Base, South Dakota, who's serving. We were able to bring him into the United States Air Force, and he's currently doing a fabulous job there, also a man in uniform. So generation after generation after generation, we've been blessed with seeing family members who have actually gone into our nation's military, and we're serving proudly. And despite what our president has said, we made decisions to serve based on the best interests of our nation, and not because we weren't intelligent, but because we sincerely wanted to give the best to our country. And so I'm so thankful that I made a decision as such. And 20 years of service, we all saw some form of harm, or we were put in what we call harm's way. And that's where the sacrifice is real. There were some days in which, for me, I know that I wasn't supposed to be here, but God granted me that opportunity to continue to be alive. And so I'm very grateful. And then to be able to serve as the Global Chamber Executive Director in San Antonio, being able to sincerely see other veterans who are in business soar. Wow. I mean, there are people who I've watched grow, and I've just been so grateful. One of the individuals is Joe Monroe. Joe Monroe has a business called Consolidated Installation Support. And we watched him as an African-American contractor receive a contract with the city of San Antonio. And Joe also received a recognition at the governor's forum for small business because he was an exceptional leader. And you see Renee Watson there. She's always standing with the veterans, and we were glad that she was able to be a part of the leadership team of that recognition. It's not just Joe, but it's people like Bill Clark Kent and his company Biddiell. We want to say Happy Veterans Day to him. Fabulous leader. His company has generated millions upon millions of dollars in the San Antonio marketplace. You know, when people ask what is the true value of the veteran, well, you can see what the true value of the veteran is. It's not only their service, but what they give back. And again, Bill Clark Kent, Happy Veterans Day to you. And, you know, a guy who motivated me to be in the chamber business was the former Secretary of Commerce, Ronald Harmon Brown. And, you know, this picture was a picture of me escorting him at the Beverly Hills Hilton when I was a second lieutenant. And he told me, he says, hey, you need to have a business. So I started a business. It was an Amway business, believe it or not. I started a business, and he says, and become a member of a Chamber of Commerce wherever you go. And I did that. And so when I was able to retire, I was able to apply for the position of President CEO of the Alamo City Black Chamber of Commerce, and I was hired, and that started me on my journey. So I want to say thank you again to the late Secretary Ron Brown. You know, my career has been fun. It's been one of great opportunities from meeting President Reagan to meeting President Bush, and also having who I call the ultimate veteran for me, General Benjamin O. Davis, call me from the back of an auditorium and tell me to come up to stand next to him as he was signing his autobiography and book in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. And that was my very first assignment as a recruiter, an officer recruiter in the state of Ohio. And it just so happened that General Benjamin O. Davis gave me great advice on that day, and which really helped me. I'm so grateful to my parents who are on the left, the late Betty Herring and my father, Reverend Dr. Zebedee Herring, true role models in everything that I've ever done, and I'm so grateful for them. You know, the work, the benefits, everything that we've done in the military has served a purpose. As I meet with delegations from Saudi Arabia, I'm able to connect back with the mission that I did in the military. Having great relationships matters. When we welcomed Russia to San Antonio, they were looking to learn more about entrepreneurship. We were able to show them the San Antonio way, the Bexar County way. And again, it was just, again, I'm relying upon the tools that I learned when I was serving in our United States Air Force. And so my career has paid great dividends. It continues to pay great dividends. And then again, you know, military service is generational. I'm thankful to my parents. That's my dad there in his Korean wartime. He's just a great man of God, and I'm so happy. And there's my son. And again, how did we know that three of us would be serving at some point in time? I'm grateful. Giving my son a salute when he went through basic and then tech school here in San Antonio, I'm grateful. And he's doing a great job. Looking at my next door neighbor who was just a stone throws away, I'm grateful. seeing my brother, Jackie Ray Herring, who served, I'm very grateful. My father-in-law in my last marriage, Mr. Samuel Jones, everything that he did, he was an example. I'm so grateful. My best friend, one of my best friends who's in Florida, Christopher Daniels, he was a colonel. I'm grateful. I mean, we talk, and his wife posted that picture of him and the president-elect, and we just, I'm grateful. I mean, these are relationships, and that's why I'm so grateful I'm able to spend time with y'all today. Renee Harris, a great veteran who stands next to the Global Chamber, I'm grateful. And then I'm grateful for our sponsors, the City of San Antonio, thank you so much. With Passport San Antonio, which is the international roadmap for the city. I'm grateful. Edwards Aquifer Authority, been happy to serve on their community board and receive the benefits of their presidential sponsor. I'm grateful. CPS Energy, who became a new Global Chamber member just yesterday. I'm grateful. This is what it's all about. The Global Chamber, very simple, is a chamber that is global and unstoppable. Why? Because we basically have one chamber that is in 525 metro markets around the world, 195 countries. This is so powerful of a concept. And when we talk about global, we're really giving our businesses the reach, the context, the access, the exposure, the information, the visibility. We're all trying to be a part of a global tribe. That's why we're here today, to have this message that you as a business owner can reach 40 million plus people through our artificial intelligence-based platform, 100,000 organizations, which are in 525 metropolitan markets or 195 countries. That's why I'm a part of Global Chamber. And it's given me the ability to meet great people. It's given me member benefits myself as a business owner to be strategic in what I do, using a Zoom platform to reach the world and to broadcast these fine Americans across the world. This is a great day to celebrate. And if you want to tie into some of our events in the future, I want you to go to globalchamber.org and then hit the events tab, because that's where you're going to find all the fun. And I call it fun because I did not know about international business. It took me a little bit of a time to learn. I was intimidated by this, but then my Air Force experience told me I can do anything. And my relationship with my good Lord says I can do anything through Christ Jesus. So I know that this is a good thing, because we've been able to build on this platform, and it's been just great. We had a great event with the mayor, Ron Nuremberg, who kind of gave us his direction. We have the video recording available if anybody wants it. You can always ask for it. He talked about how the city of San Antonio, Military City USA, is leaning forward, attracting businesses, trying to help support our businesses through COVID-19. And we're so thankful. And we were able to honor our chamber founder, Crystal Nedio, and others, to include the San Antonio Spurs and the Business Journal, for doing their work. We're grateful. And let me say this, my chamber, or this chamber, is led by Dr. Nedio, and our incoming chair is Jorge Canavati. So again, make sure you tie back into those individuals. If you think that there's something that your business can do with our Global Chamber, we're more than happy to work with you. I want to continue to thank our board members and our staff over the years who have helped to lift this chamber. Thank you so much. That's what Veterans Day is about too, is saying thank you. And let's see, we have an event coming up with Jane Gonzalez. That's going to be on Friday, November 13th. I'd ask that you all sign up, go to globalchamber.org and sign up for that event. She's going to talk about how do we scale second stage companies to the next level? How do we help the workhorses of our cities, the mature companies that really need a little bit more support through this COVID-19? How do we do it? Jane has the solutions. We're looking forward to hearing her. And look, we're all about building international virtual business relationships. And so we're going to explore with our board member, Lily Gundy, who is from Cairo, Egypt, and my deputy director, Joel Ingaloo from Congo, who lives in San Antonio, who's going to grad school at UTSA. we're going to explore what are the opportunities in Egypt. That's what this Global Chamber is about, connecting great business people with opportunities all over the world, and connecting San Antonio in particular back. This is our founder, Doug Brunke. He's been very great with providing me with the ability to lead the chamber in Texas and San Antonio. We're really doing, I think, some great work. And then our chair-elect is Jorge Canavati. He'll be my new Batman and Robin sidekick. And I don't know if I'm Batman or Robin. It doesn't really matter. I just know that from a military perspective, he's going to give some of the orders, and that's good. He's a very knowledgeable man. He was, in fact, the San Antonio Council of International Visitors International Leadership Award recipient for this 2020. So I'm looking forward to him. And so again, we want to say thank you today. Thank you in all the various languages of joining us. Today you've witnessed the Globinar on the Veterans Day celebration in Military City, USA. And again, I want to thank all of my friends who were able to join us today. This has just been a great opportunity for us to connect. Thank you so much, Dr. Crystal Nerio. Thank you, Gerald Givens. Thank you, Cody Drywater. Thank you, Juanita Sepulveda. Thank you, Renee Watson. Thank you, Don Mooney. Thank you, Kyle Villiel. I appreciate each of you so much. You've been such a blessing. And I hope today that everyone's inspired by what they heard. Truly, we're global and we're unstoppable. Y'all have a blessed day and enjoy.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye,
Hey, Crystal, don't
everyone.
forget to get on Chris about those pictures, Crystal.
Oh, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle.